Hi, I'm Captain Monte with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. Folks, we're most definitely in the dog days of August. Early mornings, late in the evenings, best time to be out there. The jetties are still holding good fish. We've been catching black drum out here on dead shrimp or live shrimp, using an 1.5 ounce weight with the number 3 Kell hook, and getting out here in this 29 to 30 foot of water on right here on the tips or on the inside. Either way, they've kind of been holding off here. Also, the redfish are still hanging in there, bull reds and slot reds. On the North Jetty, right on this tip of the North Jetty, first thing in the morning with some popping corks and live shrimp or your favorite plastics, there have been still speckled trout out here on the rocks. We've been catching a few sheephead. You get some stragglers in there. Mangrove snappers. There have been tarpon rolling out here at the jetties first thing in the morning, late part of the evenings. So out here at the jetties, when it's calm enough, still potential to catch good numbers of fish out here. The surf, the baits are working the surf right now. We've been kind of on them calm days. We've been running out here what we call the ranch house out in front of San Jose Island out here, and you'll see some fence posts and fence coming out into the water. These are good areas to target redfish and the trout. Trout's been in the third and second cut where the redfish are up there real tight. Those of you that like to run down to Cedar Bayou is still holding good fish. I mean, redfish and trout out in front of Cedar has still been pretty phenomenal. There's a lot of sharks out here. There's a lot of bait out here. Those of you that like to shark fish, even at the jetties, good time to be shark fishing, most definitely. Sharks are coming into the bays, so you're liable to catch sharks in the bays also. Over here by the old Fina docks, all out here on this side, first thing in the mornings, there have been speckled trout hanging on these rocks. So few straggler reds, but majority speckled trout right through here. Now the redfish have been coming in. They've been following the bait, and you can come down here in front of the lighthouse and work this lighthouse. First thing in the morning, I like using croaker, and the trout have been pretty good on this spool bank right out here, a little deeper water, working that edge all the way down to the big slough. So this cut right through here, this bar has been holding speckled trout. Doesn't mean that you can't run down here to Quarantine. Quarantine's also been holding fish. These fish are just coming down this shoreline, and about 3.5 foot of water. Live croaker, live piggy's been working real well all the way down to Corpus Christi Bayou. So this area has been holding pretty decent fish. The black drum are still around. Redfish and black drum over here on Shellbank. They have been holding black drum all the way up on the bank with redfish. Dead shrimp or live shrimp's been working the best. There have been trout out here in this deeper water early in the mornings on this deeper grass. So if you get out here on this deeper grass with some croaker, I'm sure you'll find some trout. When it gets at 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, I like coming in here to Piper Channel. There have been black drum right here on this bend. We call it from channel marker 18 down all the way to channel marker 24 on this edge right through here. If you can get up higher on your console and see the school of black drum, it's easier to cast to them. If they go down, just give them a little while, or if the boat traffic's real heavy, they'll stay deep. You can use your fish finder to find them, but there have been black drum along that edge. If you come all the way back here to the back, first thing in the morning, redfish and black drum all around these docks right through here. Cannot tie up to any of these docks, but you can use your trolling motors, spot lock it, and a lot of times, around 10:30, you'll see the school of black drum come up. Fish bites, I like using the pink shrimp bites, and just put a piece of shrimp on there, a small piece of shrimp. number 2 kill hook. You can go with a little 16th ounce weight, a real light weight, right on top of the hook, and you can catch pretty good numbers of black drum, a few redfish, but just depending where that tide's at. If the tide is real low, then they come off them flats and they'll fall in around these docks. If the tide is up, then you can get out here on this flat, right through here, all the way back to these sand dunes back here in the back. Good place to be able to target black drum and redfish. A lot of baiters in the baiters right now, and these fish are following the bait. Over here in East Flats, all these little potholes, these big potholes through here, all the way up on this bar. You can use your favorite cut baits, your menhaden, your cut ladyfish, piggies, cut piggy perch. They have been catching redfish all in these potholes, all through here, all the way around these cabins. A good go-to spot, especially during this time of the year, you can come all the way over on these chains of islands up against the ICW, all these little chains of islands with cut bait or live piggy perch. They've been holding fish, all these little chains of islands in these potholes. If you can get in these potholes and set some baits in there, you never know. You're going to catch redfish, you're going to catch black drum, occasional speckled trout. But all these chains, all the way from Dagger Point, all the way back to the other side, around these islands through here, have been holding redfish and black drum. You can also use jumbo shrimp, the table shrimp. That's been working real well. Tide's been up a little higher, so if you'll just work these chains, if you don't want to go far from the boat ramp, these chains are holding fish, and you're likely to catch a good box full. Out here in this deeper water, early in the morning, speckled trout. You can either use a top water, you can use any of your favorite plastics under popping corks, but all this around Hog Island still got trout first thing in the mornings. Some of my favorite fishing's out here in Corpus Christi Bay. Out here at the L Head up against these rocks, we've been catching black drum, we've been catching redfish, speckled trout, mangrove snappers. So all through here on these rocks, I like working the entrances of each one of these little rock entrances right through here and working the points with live shrimp. You can either free line them or you can use a little weight to it right on the hook. Number 2 or number 3 kill hook's been working perfect. If the bays are calm, then I'll run out here to the gas wells. These gas wells are loaded right now with speckled trout. There's a lot of sharks out here right now, so you might have to weed through the sharks. If they get too thick and you can't get the trout bite going, then move off to another one of these wells. Like I said before, these wells have got rock piles. When they had the drilling rig on there, these rock piles come off that pad, and you can catch fish away from the platform. Black drum been out here. We've been catching a few triple tails out here. They're still around. You can use croaker. You can use live piggies. You can use live shrimp. Just free line everything. No weight out here on these wells. But all this is good area. Out here from Indian Point Pier all the way down to the golf course. I like working this shoreline. Depending where that tide's at. If the tide's up high, them redfish are all the way up here tight. If the tide is down, then they fall off onto this deeper water on this edge right through here. You can use your favorite cut baits. Is probably the best for your redfish. On speckled trout, you can free line live croaker. These piers that are coming out right through here, there's some broken down piers that's been holding black drum. You can kind of fish in between the piers. And what I like is the speckled trout when the wind's blowing a little bit and you see that white water breaking right on the shoreline, throw them baits right in that white water, right where it's breaking. That's where them trout are going to be. If you'll work it slowly, it's a good area to work on them good days. You can catch pretty good different amount of fish through here. There's also been some pretty good mangrove snappers on them piers. So take you some live shrimp, take you some croaker, and work this area up on Portland shoreline. You should be able to find your fish to put in the box. Y'all all have a great week. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Monte.